Okay, this is one of the tragic things that happened during the war and after the war. People did whatever they could to save their children. So one of them was to try to be Christian or give your children up to Catholic families to be adopted because they wanted to get away from the persecution. And many people in Poland after the war pretended to be Catholics, took on Catholic names and identities because they were too afraid to be Jews. After the war, Jews came back to Poland. Whoever was left, about 500,000 Jews were left. About 300,000 came back to Poland, and there were World War II. And because there was 3.5 million Jews in Poland before the war, so 3 million were murdered by the Nazis. The leftover 500,000, some of them didn't want to come back to Poland, but many of them did because they spoke Polish. They had their business. They had their house for hundreds of years. They wanted to come back. They came back, and the local Poles, many of them murdered them or beat them up or took away their property. Polish people. Yes. Yes. Majority of people who were turned into Nazis were turned in by Poles. There were Poles who were good. There was an organization called Jagoda who tried to help the Jews, but the Poles were anti-Semitic for the most part. Nowadays you don't see it as much, right? But they were. So about 300,000 came back, and because of the persecutions, many of them ran away. Finally, in the 1950s, 1956, the communists in Poland were very Stalinist. They were very strong communists, very extreme. And some of the leaders of the communists in Poland were from Jewish descent. So even though everyone here was communist, but the students were against this like very extreme communism, and they blamed it, of course, on the Jewish element. So there was an extreme anti-Semitism again. And what they did was they announced the unbelievable, the unthought of. In every communist country, if you were a citizen in that country, you were not allowed to leave. Those were all the Russian refuseniks. You can't leave Russia, right? The law in Poland became that if you're a Jew, 1956, we want you out of here. You want to go? Go ahead. And at that point, most of the Jews left Poland. How many stayed? We don't know, because many of them who stayed under an alias. Right? Now, there was a woman. Now, some of these grandchildren of these people found out they're Jewish, and some of them came back to Yiddishkeit, and they became Balei Tshuva. And one of the ones who found out that she's Jewish was the granddaughter of Blima. And Blima found out that her grandmother was really Jewish and went under a Christian name in order to survive. And she wanted to bring her body to the cemetery over here. And it was a whole political thing because, first of all, Poland is not just a country that happens to be predominantly Catholic. It is the mandated religion of the government, right? It's a Catholic democracy. So it was very hard for her. Finally, they were able, and you'll see the read over here, right? A Jew forced to live as a false Christian identity, as Stafina Rudlika, right? During the Nazi occupation, never forgot my family, and her bones were moved over here in 2012, and she got a kever and a Jewish kever. That's a very special.
So her granddaughter found her and buried her.
Yes. She knew, because she also went under the name, I guess, Rudlika for a while, until she found out that she's really Jewish. Okay, we're going to go out to the front now.